Welcome to tonight's mini healing. If you are here now, you might have noticed instead of a 5-minute intro, we had like a 30-second thing. So, what happened was I went live last night on Facebook to check on if it was going to work. And it did. And then I forgot to switch it. So, anyhow, welcome. I am going to switch my banner. Hope everyone's doing good. Usually I have a full 5 minutes just to pull my thoughts together, so 30 seconds is not good for me. All right, so I'm going to switch this. And then, I'm going to add. So welcome. I'm a little discombobulated. And if you haven't noticed, it's Casual Monday. So usually I'm not live quite this early. Oh, there's Valerie. Welcome. So, as you see with the change in tonight's banner, we're going to do a little contest tonight. Must be present to win, and it's to win a short integrative healing session. And there's a Google form, and I think I'll put that in chat. So here's my test if my chat works for all my platforms. Okay, I see. Oh shoot, it doesn't. Let me check and see. Oh shoot, it looks like it did not go live on Facebook. Oh, that is so annoying. I tested it last night. Oh, that is so frustrating. And just strange. Good grief. Well, I guess you're just the YouTubers are stuck with me. Yeah, that is so weird. So in chat, I'm going to put okay, so most of you who are here right at the crack of my start time, usually I'm not here. So that's like my operator error because I was testing my Facebook account and going live last night for like 5 minutes and it worked. So I thought everything would be okay tonight. And of course, all those best laid plans. So I need to go to Facebook and write that I have had, despite best laid plans, because last night everything worked well. Shoot. And tonight I'm going to do like a little video commercial about the contest. So you don't need to enter immediately. Okay, almost done. Hope everybody's doing good. Got a dog on my right hip and a dog on my left hip. All right, I just got to make sure that I don't have typos in the website that I'm sending people to. Sort of crazy, huh? You know, I've realized with this going live business, and a friend of mine commented, she's like, "You are so brave to go live," because she does a tarot channel, and she's like, she she records everything, edits everything, and then puts it out there. Which I think is a lot of work, but she just thinks it's a little emotionally brave. Okay, I'm just making sure my link doesn't require an extra digit. So hold on here. I'm almost done. I'm just testing the link because with my luck tonight, I'd put out a link and it be the wrong one. Oh, it says it can't be reached. Okay, it does need the extra digit. That just figures, doesn't it? Ooh. I think I need an assistant some days, where so that way I can be scattered without feeling guilty about it. Yes, I do need that. Okay, almost there. Okay, let me check one more time. Make sure that okay. But you know me, when there are issues, oftentimes I do something extra. So I just need to text Anne Marie because she even checked on me and said there are problems. Okay, almost. Okay. Sorry. These tech issues cause like hair loss and craziness. It's probably good I don't drink or drink very rarely, but this could cause me to drink. Okay, so let's see who's here. So I've got Valerie and Beth and Tug of Light. Ooh, and Emphatha says Nick is driving across the country into national parks with his friend. Ooh, that's pretty cool. So, Emphatha, as long as you're here, I will consider that him being here just because both of you are regular watchers. So, if both of you weren't, I probably would say no. But no, I think that's good. All right. Oh, here's little Duncan. Where are you going? Are you going to say hello? So, we got back from the wood tick farm a week ago, and I'm taking some Lyme's pills because of a tick bite. Just fabulous. I really hate those ticks. Oh, there's rose petals. Wonderful. So let's do our first healing pulse. And then when we come back, I will talk more about the contest. And I'm not sure if I'll play the video right away. So I expect tonight will be a light night. I did actually send out a newsletter last week, which is unusual because I have not sent one out in a very long time. But I did post about the mini healing session tonight. But my message to Honey Golden, I sent it out really late Sunday night, and she hasn't opened it. Usually, my best advertisements are from her, but sometimes when she's busy, she doesn't get to it in time. So I've learned that if I send it to her a week in advance, she'll post it, and then people forget. So I do take the risk of her being busy, which is fine. I fear it all works out. So let's do our first healing pulse. And so think about what you want to work on. Is it something physical? Is it something emotional? Or maybe you don't have a place that you want to send energy to. And so for those people, I would suggest sending to your head or your heart. And we will get started. So, one more thing about emotions. So, if you have something emotional going on, say you're extra sad today, send it to where you feel that in your body. So, I want you to rub your hands together. Oh, sorry, Duncan's stepping on Dexter. All right. So with this, so rub your hands together and place your hands exactly where you want to receive the energy. Imagine my hands on yours. Yes, he is. Duncan was looking at him. Sometimes that just can't happen. So, all right. So Dexter's outside and Duncan is getting healing. So, most important part here is allowing the energy to flow. So, you're getting my healing frequencies plus your own. With each breath in, it's going a little deeper, a little further. With each breath out, you are releasing. So, just allow. So, just breathe that in. Okay, so that was our first healing pulse. So let me get my book. Valerie, can you check on Sissy? Got a message. So I think she's on Facebook. Okay, so getting my book. So here comes that little troublemaker. Hey Dexter, what are you doing now? Are you gonna come over here? Come here. He wants to get under the covers because he's naked because it got up to 64 today. Fabulous. Thank you, Valerie. Okay, so would you believe today is show number 193? So I'm thinking I should probably do something special for my 200th show. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. All right. Oh, there's Miriam. All right. So I'm going to go back and start writing in my book. Just making sure. Dexter. All right. So it looks like Nick's going to be first on the list. Digestive issues. All right. And then Valerie. Lumbar, lower back. Okay. Oh, Miriam, I'm sorry. So Miriam's got hives. Forehead, left jaw, neck. Okay, so tug of light. Blisters, acne around mouth. Oh, that sounds annoying. Sometimes self-healing is one of the hardest things, Tug. So, and Sissy, yes, I see you. Yay. Okay, rose petals. Liver area. Okay, so I think I'm going to see if I can play my little commercial about the drawing. It's got a different deadline because this is one that I posted before, I think, Memorial Weekend. And so it sort of gives you the gist of things. So, oh, and there's Viking, trouble right side of neck. So I'm going to add you. I think part of the reason why I'm going to do the commercial now is because I'm having technical issues. So if I can't get it to work now, maybe I can get it to work later, but I'm hoping. So Viking Gray Wolf has trouble right side of neck, top shoulder to ear. Sounds like it's not good, Viking. Okay, so we're going to see if I can get this to work. Because I do a lot of sharing screen on YouTube, but not on this streaming service. So let's see. We're going to see if it'll let me do it. Okay, so that wasn't it. I'm going to share screen. Okay. And I've got share audio because sometimes it won't do that. Okay. So we're going to see. Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Summer. I'm opening up my calendar to gift one lucky person a complimentary 30-minute integrative healing session, although sometimes it runs a little longer because the energy just flows. This is your chance to experience what a real integrative healing session feels like. A gentle, powerful blend of energy work, intuitive guidance, emotional release, and spiritual support tailored just for you. During our Zoom session, you can bring 1 to 2 issues you'd like to work on, whether they're physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, or relationship related. This session will be lovingly recorded with your permission and shared on my website and across social platforms so others can witness the healing powers too. To enter the drawing, go to the Google form link on this page or in the description, and a random comment picker will choose the winner in a few days. Remember, it's important to only enter if you're comfortable with the session being recorded and shared. publicly. I can't wait to see who the universe chooses. Drop your entry into the link below and also share this post with someone who needs it. The deadline will be Monday, May 20th. Okay. So the link is different. The link is in the comments field. Did that work? Because it looked like it did on my end, but as you know, sometimes my little streaming service doesn't always let me see everything you see. So good. Thank you for the feedback. Here is the link. If you have troubles, let me know. Good. Thank you. So I'm going to just make sure. So, all right. So Empatha wants to work on clarity. Oh, and there's Donna, Giovanna. Okay. And the video I did cut off just because it had a previous date on it. So yeah, so disregard the link in the video. In chat, I have listed the right link. And then, so I'm going to draw it tonight. So you must be present to win. So if you are just in for a short time, and then you got to go, you probably will not get it. So at some point, we will do the drawing. All right, so I'm going to do Donna, and then we're going to start. Okay, so knee replacement. No feeling. Right side. And so make sure when you do the healing pulse, that's where you send the energy to, Donna. All right, so here's on my list for tonight. Nick, Valerie, Miriam, Tug of Light, Rose Petals, Viking Grey Wolf, Empatha, and Donna. Did I miss anyone? Sissy? Did you? Okay, so Sissy, when you decide what you want to work on, just put it in the comments. All right, and then Angel, acid reflux. Jeffrey has, oh, I'm sorry. That little Dexter. I think the neighbors are out, so I think he's got to tell me. Jeffrey's extra tired. And sleep stuff. And then, oh, extra tired for Jeffrey. And then Paul has sleep stuff. And then Sissy got anxiety. So I'm doing a drawing for a short integrative healing session. And I just did a video. So I don't know if you can go back and watch that, Angel. Well, Giovanna's got tummy pain. That's not good. Okay, so here's my list. I think I got everybody. Nick, Valerie, Miriam, Tug of Light, Rose Petals, Viking Grey Wolf, Empatha, Donna, Angel, Jeffrey, Paul, Sissy, and Giovanna. I think I left off the A. Yes. And I just need to check and see. Okay. So we're going to, if I missed you, please go ahead and put yourself in the comments. These are who I noticed. So we're going to start with Nick, Valerie, and Miriam. So Nick's having some digestive issues. So we're going to see what comes up with that. So I think I'm going to start with my short list because it's quicker. Okay. We will see you in a moment, Donna. All right. So, Nick, I'm getting unsupported around 8 years old. So 7, 8, 9. So at that age, oftentimes it's not necessarily you as a child, but an adult around you. So let me just tune in and see. Is that Nick's? No. So, but you were affected by this. And so what we're going to work on releasing is the effect on you. And we're going to replace it with the energy of trust. So because when someone around you affects you so much that you get their trapped emotion of unsupported, to get a surge of trust, I think will really help you. So I know Empatha is going to help me with this. So we're going to release and remove unsupported. And then we're going to imbue or strengthen a sense of trust in Nick. All right, so that took. So Valerie's having some lumbar and lower back pain. Let's see what the cause of that is. I know Valerie's been doing quite a bit of driving, but part of it is when you have a trapped emotion, especially if there's one in like the lower back area, it can aggravate it enough and create more problems. And I do get that there is a trapped emotion that has made that discomfort worse. So let's see what that is. So I've got my trapped emotion. Let me see. Okay. Okay, so Valerie, I'm getting panic around 18. So 17, 18, 19. Something in there, sort of like a triggering event for you. So we're going to release and remove panic, and we're going to instill in you flowing. And so if you think of like where a trapped emotion is, it's sort of stagnant and blocking. And so taking that out is going to create a lot of flow. So flowing. Ooh, that would do it right there. So we're going to release and remove panic for Valerie. And we're going to instill a flowing energy to you. Okay, so that's instilled. I would suggest, especially those of you with physical things going on, after we release, stand up and sort of stretch and move and see if you feel a difference. All right, so Miriam is having some issue with hives. So that sounds sort of miserable. So let's see. Okay. So Miriam, I'm getting sadness, and this is from Manny because of the time is now, which is interesting because sometimes sadness, sometimes we're not able to release things that are fairly recent. But with him being sick for a while, I think that helps sort of the process of it. And I'm not saying it's easy. I know that very well for my pet losses. But let's release the sadness because no matter what, I can picture him with you still because he was your sidekick. And so we're going to replace that sadness with a sense of invincibility. All right. So let's release sadness. Not that it'll really go away, but we're going to release the trapped emotion of sadness. And we're going to instill and imbue and strengthen that invincibility because you have plans. And I know part of it was your plans were hard on Manny because physically he had troubles. So good. So that took. All right. So next I've got Tug of Light, Rose Petals, and Viking Grey Wolf. All right. So Tug of Light's got blisters, acne like around the mouth. That does sound like not great. Okay. Almost done. Okay. Tug of Light. Vulnerability around age 19. So 18, 19, 20. Something that caused that to feel really super vulnerable. So we're going to take that out. And interestingly enough, we've got the image or the energy of being more trusting. And so we're going to take out the vulnerability piece, and then we're going to instill within you trusting. And so I'm hoping that, funny how these seem to come up, but okay. So Valerie, if you need to, can you be Donna's mouthpiece? So that would be great. Okay. So we've got Rose Petals and Viking Grey Wolf next. So Rose Petals was it? I think it was, so I wrote down liver, but I think that's a little short. So let me just, because I think it was pain in the liver area. Let me just go back. Liver area hurts ever so often. Okay. So let's see why. So I'm getting there's a trapped emotion there. Rose petals. I think you're going to have to tell me how this fits, because usually I can put what we take out and what we put in as linked, but I'm not sure if this does. Sometimes the voids we create are filled with things that really make sense, and this one does not. So you're going to have to tell me if there's a story that makes sense to you. So we're going to take out the energy of terror around age 19. So 18, 19, 20. And sometimes terror is like horror movie terror, really extreme. And other times it's more of a short term. You get freaked out about something and then it goes, but in that short time period, it's pretty intense. So we're going to take that out and we're going to put it with the energy of infatuated. And so when I think of infatuation, I think, it can be a relationship, but it can also be a pet, a hobby, a lifestyle, just a feeling of being in love with something, not necessarily a person. So I know that sometimes I think of being so infatuated with a certain type of lifestyle. So I have a picture in my head of what would just make me smile all the time. So think about rose petals. What is it that you need to strengthen your infatuation for? So we're going to take out terror. And we're going to instill within you a strength and infatuation. Okay. Oh, there's Denise. All right. So Denise, I'm going to add you. We've got gut dysbiosis. All right. And then Miriam. No, Miriam, it's your sadness. So we're releasing the sadness from you. And yeah, because he senses that within you. And I think he sensed before he passed that things were hard for him and for you, because sometimes you had to make a choice. So you've had sadness for a while. So the sadness has multiple reasons, not just his passing, but that's one of them. So, but just know he's around you. All right, so next we've got Viking Grey Wolf, then we've got Emphatha, and we've got Donna. So Viking Grey Wolf, issues right side of neck, top shoulder to ear. Oh, does that mean you're having trouble moving your head? Or is it just sort of sore? So let's see. So I am getting there's a trapped emotion. I hope that was helpful, Miriam. Okay, almost done with wolf. All right, so Viking Grey Wolf, taken for granted, around age 26. So I'm getting like 25, 26, 27. So something in there. So let's release that. And then I'm not sure how this connects, but it's the energy of being respectful. And so I'm not sure if this is respectful of others or respectful of you and how you felt. So let's take out the taken for granted, because that's never a feeling that you want to be sensitive to. And then we're going to instill within you that feeling of respectful. All right, so Tug of Light had a comment because she had vulnerability around 19 and we replaced it with trusting. So she says, I did feel very vulnerable at 19. I was living in London and traveling around Europe by myself doing auditions for ballet. Face and body are very important in that field. Oh, most definitely. So I'm hoping that releasing that energy will help that area around your mouth heal. All right, so Mfatha's looking for clarity. So let's see. So getting some grief. That is part of the issue. Let me get an age. Okay, so I'm getting grief around 36. So 35, 36, 37. So we're going to release grief, and then we're going to replace it with the energy of unbiased. And so I wonder, because you're asking about clarity. So what if the clarity you have, the thoughts that you have about clarity, you said no to, sort of made up your mind about certain things. So this tells me that bias is playing a role because we are instilling within you the energy of unbiased. So I think you need to expand your options, expand your beliefs. So we're going to take out grief, and grief may mean a death, but it can also be death of a lifestyle. Say you moved to somewhere where you didn't have any friends, nothing was familiar. You moved to a house that was totally different than where you were at. So things changed at 36 that caused the end of something. And so we're going to take that out and we're going to place in it the energy of being open and unbiased. Oh, and there's Mfatha. Big career change at 36, major loss of income. I would have grief over that loss of income because that just makes life so much harder when you lose that steady income. All right, let's do our second healing pulse. All right, so think about where you want to receive the energy. You want to rub your hands together and place your hands exactly where you want to receive the energy. Mfatha says that was a better schedule for her kids. So you gave up the job with the really good wage so that you could be around your kids and support them. Good, but hard. All right, so breathe in that energy. So just imagine with each breath in, The healing goes a little deeper. With each breath out, you are releasing. And for those of you who like breath work, this is a perfect time to do breath work. Just in and out. Okay, that was our second healing pulse. So asking about the contest, must be present to win. So I'm wondering, I can give you the link to that YouTube video that I played, because in the description, there is some more information that pretty much I said it during the little commercial. But if you missed it or want to read it again before you join, I can do that if you think that would be helpful. So if you do, just put a yes in the comments and I'll put that link in. Otherwise, this is the link for the form in Google. So it's just a basic Google form. It does not put you on any list other than a list for the contest. So I don't add you to my newsletter list or any of that. Okay, so going back to the list, here's the remaining people on the list. So I've got Donna, Angel, Jeffrey, Paul, Sissy, Giovanna, and Denise. So Donna had knee replacement surgery, but she's got no feeling on the right side. So let's see. So I'm getting there's some emotional things going on. So let's see. I'm getting an inherited trapped emotion, which seems sort of like an odd thing. But sometimes it's not just us as individuals that. So let me just see what it is. So I'm going to see where it came from. So I'm getting the energy of taken for granted. So let's see. So I'm getting father's side. Did it start with father? Yes. Okay, how old was father? He was like 24. So 23, 24, 25. He felt taken for granted. And it was in such a way that it was inherited. And that doesn't mean like all of your siblings have it, but at least some of them do. And, like his grandkids or great grandkids. So let's just see. So we're going to take that out. Oh, I like this. So, all right. So we're going to take out the inherited trapped emotion of taken for granted for Donna. And that came from her father, and we're going to replace it with the energy of kind. And part of that is sometimes when we're taken for granted, it just causes sort of like an emptiness, and filling it up with just the kindness will help fill that void. So we're going to taken for granted. We're going to release it from the whole lineage. And then we're going to place it with kind. Okay. All right. So Rose Petals commented because she had terror at 19, and I explained sometimes it can be an extreme sort of like horror movie. And so she says that doesn't resonate with her at all, which is why I said it could also be something shorter term where you're just freaked out a bit. And so there seems to be quite a range in what terror is for people. So that's why I always give those examples, because sometimes it truly is an extreme terror. But I think for most people, it's the less awful kind where it's just, you're just a little freaked out for a little bit. Yes, Valerie, I thought you would get a kick out of that. So, all right. So we've got Angel coming up next. She is working on acid reflux, not flex. And we'll see. So we're getting the energy of unsupported. Let me get an age. Although Valerie, it doesn't always affect everyone. It can skip one or two people and go on to the next level. Okay, I like this one, Angel. All right, so I'm getting the energy of unsupported around age 18. And so 17, 18, 19, which for that time period, sometimes if you don't know what you're going to do, you're not getting help or support from your friends and family about what you're going to do or even how you're going to live. That's just, I think, especially that end of high school for a lot of people is a little harder. And so we're going to take that energy out of not being supported, and we're going to place within you a sense of being valued. So we're going to remove unsupported. Oh, and Sissy, you had asked if we did you. Not yet, but you're person number 3 coming up. Okay, Jeffrey is next. Jeffrey has been extra tired lately. So let's see. So I got self-abuse for Jeffrey. Let me get an age. Can you use like 13? So 12, 13, 14, somewhere in there. Really, he was extra hard on himself, which sometimes as a teenager, that's hard because other kids are mean. And so if you make mistakes in front of other kids, or you don't feel you're doing as well as you should, you're sort of not very nice to yourself. All right, so we're going to take away the energy of self-abuse for Jeffrey, and then we're going to fill it up with this unique and wonderful energy. So the word we're using to fill you up is unique, Jeffrey, and it's a positive thing. So we're going to release self-abuse. So Angel and Jeffrey, you can both do this together. And then we're going to instill the energy of unique. And so I've got Paul, Sissy, Giovanna, and Denise. So Paul's got some sleep stuff going on. So we're going to see. All right. Okay. So I'm getting the energy of forlorn around 36. So 35, 36, 37. And then what we're going to fill you up with is the energy of being emancipated. So when I think of emancipated, I think of total freedom. And so there was something around 36 that you felt alone and lonely. And so I wonder if it's sort of those feelings have sort of tied you up. And instilling this sense of emancipation and freedom will give you enough release to help you sleep. Although that interpretation might be a stretch. So if Paul has any thoughts about that, let me know. So we're going to release and remove the energy of forlorn. And then we're going to instill emancipated. Okay, so I'm going to look at comments. So Rose Petals, she had terror at 19, and then she had infatuated. So she had 2 bad dates around that time with different people. It all turned out okay. She dated a bad boy in college, not a healthy relationship, and she did move out of state. Maybe. Oh, and then Tug of Light wrote, because Tug of Light had vulnerability and then trusting. Okay, so because Tug of Lights was vulnerability around 19. She wanted to do videos. Since 2017, but feel not taken seriously on anything with skin. But maybe that's holding you back, Tug. You know, that thought. Because being vulnerable when you're trying to help others and say, this is my issue, this is what I'm having trouble with, these are the things I've tried, this is what I've noticed. And part of being successful is that people really like someone who's genuine. And I get that would be really hard especially with your background of perfection. But maybe that's what you need. It would set you apart from others who are so perfect that the average person doesn't take them seriously. So think about it. It would be a tough choice. I could see that. But maybe it would help you move on to the videos. If you do, let me know. You can share your links on here if you want. All right, Sissy, you are next. So Sissy has had some issues with anxiety. So let's see. Okay, so Sissy, I get lost around 8. So 7, 8, 9. And so sometimes lost is more of a figurative kind of thing. But it also makes me wonder, when you were a little kid, were you lost? You know, sometimes a little kid would get lost in the mall or out in a park and they can't find their family. Did that happen to you? Or is this truly, or is this because you were 8? Maybe this is adult? No, I'm not getting this as an adult. So this is yours. Do you remember that when you were 8? I know for me, I don't remember. I don't have a lot of childhood memories. But when I think of you being lost, I think of you being separate. And we're going to instill within you a sense of being united. So that's sort of an interesting concept. So it does really make me think that you were truly lost when you were little. Or was there some type of emotional separation that you felt separate? So we're going to work on releasing lost, however that is. And then we're going to instill within you that sense of united and belonging. Okay, so Giovanna has some tummy pain. So let's see. Okay, almost there. Okay, so Giovanna, I'm getting fear around 26. So 25, 26, 27. And then the energy I get is high. And this is not drug related. It's more of a high on life, the excitement, the joy. And so imagine that the fear is being released and it's making you so happy and joyful. So let's release the fear. We'll have to see if Donna remembers anything about that. So if you don't remember being lost, did you feel like a separation from you and at least some of your family? All right. And the last one on my list is Denise. So she's got gut dysbiosis. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but it sounds pretty unpleasant. So let's see what the root cause is. So with this, especially as you get older, if you don't deal with things, oftentimes there's multiple layers that are contributing to things. So the one layer I get is the energy of being unsupported. Let me get an age. Sissy, I do get a yes for that. So something around that move. Was it maybe like starting a new school, new friends, new home, new everything? Did that make you feel a little disconnected and lost? All right, almost there, Denise. Oh, Denise, I like this one. So I'm getting the energy of unsupported around age 19. So 18, 19, 20. And sometimes, that's again about leaving school and making choices. And it can be unsupported by a lot of different things. It could be unsupported by friends, family, relationship, or even like the universe. So we're going to release and remove that. And we're going to instill within you a sense of being rooted, which I think that's the opposite of unsupported. Being rooted is very supportive. So let's release and remove unsupported. And then we're going to instill within you that sense of rooted. Okay, so we're going to do our third healing pulse. And so with this, so if you want to keep doing it in the same place or if you want to choose something different. All right, so Sissy's trying to figure out what loss was around age 8. I do get it has something to do with that move, and it's more of a feeling of being lost because you lost your connection to everything that you knew except for your family. Because you had to change schools, change friends, change homes. So I think that makes sense, but maybe ask your sister about that. All right, and before we move to the healing pulse, let's see, Rose Petal, because she had talked about terror around 19 and infatuated is her infatuation is creating, working on many projects, bags, purses, clothes, and ideas. To be able to live comfortably on my own creations is her dream. That's sort of cool because I did talk about being infatuated with something, not just someone. So I'm hoping that this strengthening of the love to create, the infatuation with the energy of making and creation will help you be even a bigger success. All right, so let's do our third healing pulse. So I want you to rub your hands together and place your hands exactly where you want to receive the energy. Imagine my hands on yours. And then just be open and allowing For those of you who are sensitive, you might feel hot, you might feel tingles. Every once in a while, I'll get someone that feels cold, but it's mainly tingles or heat. So just breathe that in and allow it to go deeper. And breathe out what you're releasing, what you're done with. Maybe it's not even yours. Just open and allowing. Perfect. That was our third healing pulse. So Valerie posted, thank you. Lots of big yawns and heat too. So a yawn is a sign that energy is shifting. Usually a yawn causes a release of energy to allow more room for the healing. And so, like, if I'm doing a session with someone and they're yawning, it is the best thing because I think, okay, they're really feeling the energy. Or, like, when we release trapped emotions, sometimes people yawn, and it's because they're literally letting it go. Does anyone have any questions about my little contest that I'm doing? So part of the reason why I'm doing it is because, I think people have a pretty good idea about releasing trapped emotions, but my private sessions are so much more than that. I've got about 30 different tools. And so to record a private session and share it, I think would give people a better idea of what happens in a private session. Although even with the same person, people often experience very different things from session to session. Okay, so Denise, let's see, because Denise came up with, let's see, she got issues and unsupported around 19. So she says her husband and she bought their first house at 19. Didn't feel like she got much support for anything at that time. So that definitely fits that. So I hope that letting that go has helped. Oh, and Rose Petal just said that is making sense to me. Thank you, Summer. Okay. So, did everyone enter that wanted to enter for my little contest? Tug of Light, thank you very much for that. So this is one of my passions. I really enjoy it. So I love doing the individual sessions, but then I also do something totally different with hypnosis and QHHT, BQH sessions. So, all right, so let's just see. You are very welcome, Donna. Let me just check my little list and see if, I know a few of you said, okay, so I've got a few of you. So let me just, so I'm using a picker for this. So let me just see. So I just need to change the range. So hold on here. Oh, I need to change one more field. There we go. Rose, you are the winner for the short mini healing. Or not mini healing, integrated healing. So I'm expecting it to be like 30 to 40 minutes. So I will be in touch. I've got your email address. So thank you everyone who has entered. I really appreciate the support and the openness that you will do this. So Rose is the winner for that. Again, thank you, thank you. And so let's do our last thing for the night. We're going to do the aura strengthening, because part of having a strong aura is having that helps repel negativity. So I want you to rub your hands together. You are very welcome, Rose. I'll drop you an email with instructions. And so with this, you can use the healing pulse energy, or I always encourage people to use their own energies and frequencies too. So start beaming out to your aura. Imagine, especially that outer edge of your aura, to being thicker and more protective so that you don't feel things in such an extreme way. So this is especially good if you are empathic and super sensitive. And then I also want to think about, what do you want to fill up your bubble in? You are welcome, Giovanna. So like, if you're not sure, like for me, today I could use some strength and some joy. But so others of you, you could use like the words I gave you. So we've got trust, flowing, invincible, trusting, infatuated, respectful, unbiased, kind, valued, unique, emancipated, united, high, and rooted. Ooh, and I just noticed Tug of Light posted about her. Good luck button on, bad luck button off, all day, every day. Love that. So that could be something you put inside you too. And just really focus on making sure your personal energies are good. I did realize that the last time we did a live, I think was at like the 17th, when I had trouble with Facebook, my bad luck was on. My good luck was on too. So let me see. For me, is my bad luck button on today? No. Okay. So it's just not good luck. So, okay. So Valerie is doing well with lots of yawns and energy shifts. So thank you everyone for coming. I wasn't sure if people were going to show up just because of the honey nut not getting to my email, which totally my fault. So, but I'm so glad you showed up. So I will definitely be here on, let me look at the calendar, because I think, so I've got a sister visiting from out west. So the 1st is a Wednesday night, July 1st. So I will be here. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to do a second June one. I'll have to see. So, and if anyone has any thoughts, because my 200th show is coming up, because today was show number 192. So if anyone has any thoughts on what I should do for my 200th show, that would be sort of cool. But I hope everyone has a really good night. Tonight was fun. And I hope you benefited from it, truly. So, and if you appreciate what I do, go to the buymeacoffee.com/healingbysummer. Have a good night. Oh, and Fatha just said Nick drove through Minnesota today. Fabulous. I hope Minnesota was good to him. So thank you, everyone. Have a fabulous evening.